and then we'll have a short Q&A if you have questions. So I will leave it to Omer.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, everybody, for coming. First of all, welcome to the 53rd Paris Air Show. So welcome in. We at Aviation are uniquely excited to have you join us here for the rollout of the Aviation Alice just here behind us. I think it was, actually I think it's a line of a song that says, you can have an airplane flying if you'll bring your blue skies back. So we hope this plane can do both. It's an airplane flying, and we hope it will bring the blue skies back. The Aviation Alice is the first all-electric commuter aircraft in the world, and it's out here ready and waiting. It's the pinnacle of a lot of work by many partners and crew that I will talk about soon, but it's also the manifestation of some vision. And I'm glad to say that that vision has been shared with us by a client, and this is basically the reason we've asked you in. So our announcement today is that Cape Air, the world's largest general aviation commuter fleet operator, working mostly in the east coast of the US, is going to be the first client of the Aviation Alice, and will usher in a double-digit size fleet of Alices to operation. Sorry?
What airline? Sorry.
Cape Air. Cape Air. He will usher in a double-digit size fleet of Alices within the next 5 years. This is a very, very significant moment for us, not only because we can roll out the plane and tell you about a client, but also, and maybe mostly, because we see Cape Air as a very, very significant client because of his identity. Cape Air as a company has been invested in sustainability since conception. They've been focused on creating profitable models for operating general aviation fleets and have risen to be the largest general aviation fleet operator on the planet. This is why it was important for us to talk about. This is why we wanted them in, and also because they can really support with the MROs and with the experience and with everything that's needed to put forward that infrastructure to have a successful launch of the plane. Now, for those of you who do not know us as a company, Aviation was founded back in 2015 by myself and my good friend and partner Aviv Tzidon. And we were at the time mostly considered delusional, I'll give you that, but we were thinking one thing. We want to change the way people travel, and we want to build a new plane to make it happen. Not a small feat as it is. In 2017, we were here with a technology demonstrator, unfortunately promising that in 2019 we'll be here with a full-scale functioning aircraft. So again, considered delusional at the time, we had to go back and work. That work and the very, very long-standing dedication of our team and of our partners has created the Alice. The Aviation Alice is a 9-seat, 2-crew, all-electric commuter. It flies 650 miles on a charge. It flies at 240 knots at 10,000 feet, and it will charge an hour in the air just by staying half an hour on the ground. So 1-to-2 ratio, but the other way from what you're thinking. This aircraft is not some future maybe. It's not waiting for some development in battery technology or in lightweight materials. It's there. It's right here behind us. It's operational. When some of you will meet me inside, we'll move the stick. It works. And if we look at the way we've got here, we have to mention the complexity of building a machine like this, and we have to mention our partners. So the aircraft behind me has been built over the last 2.5 years with the help of no less than 164 suppliers from 21 different countries. And I will name them one by one now. Got you, right? But I do need to reflect and to say really thank you for a few. I want to start with Honeywell, that from the very beginning jumped in head first, created not only the lightest and we think the best flight control computer we can use, but they gave us the opportunity not just to make this the first all-electric commuter ever built, but also to make this the first Part 23 certified fly-by-wire computer, all fly-by-wire. I want to go then to Siemens, that has been supporting us with their motors and inverters literally from the conception of the company, from starting 2015. And then to magniX, that came in and created another propulsion alternative for this same motor. I want to talk about the beautiful work of Maniag Aeronautica that created a very, very different kind of landing gear system. Yes, it's a tail dragger, if that's your headline, but it's a very different tail dragger, and we'll talk about the difference in a second. I want to say thank you to Multiplast, a French group that did an amazing work in some of the structural components of this plane, but also was the major enabler for the integration process that happened here in France. And you know, some of our suppliers actually have a bit of a history to talk about. Some of them I did talk about just now. But if you think about it, the Hartzell propellers you see in the back, they're state-of-the-art, carbon fiber, pitch-controlled, anything you can hope for in a modern propeller. But Hartzell has been making these propellers for a century for the Wright brothers. They're there from the very beginning. Without those partners and many others that I did not talk about, this wouldn't have been possible. And we're very, very grateful for that. Now, this plane doesn't look like anything you've seen on the grounds here. It doesn't look like anything that flies out today. Not because, you know, it's the right design decision. Trust me, we did care about how it looks. But because this is a truly form follows function situation. This plane was built from the ground up to be electric. It's not a retrofit of anything. It is built like a plane should be built in the 21st century, at least the way we see planes being built in the 21st century. It's all composite. It has a huge battery. For lack of a better description, it's a huge battery with some plane painted on it. Our maximum takeoff weight is 6.3 metric tons, 14,000 pounds or so. The battery is just over 8,200 pounds. That's 60% of the takeoff weight. This is the way you reach those numbers I've given you in the very beginning. You redesign. You build a machine that is as efficient as possible at cruise. You build a machine that can really do a real-life job. And this really leads me to the result of that first client declaration. We believe the market for this plane is not commuter planes alone, even though it's a huge market and there's plenty to replace there. We believe it's not business travel or executive travel alone. We believe it's not anything alone. We believe it's all of us. We believe, and this was our vision from the very beginning, we believe that the way we travel regional distances is basically flawed. It takes too long. It's too dependent on your car, even if you're in a very, very well-developed country. And if you do fly, you're usually flying too many miles in the wrong direction from too big a hub. And this is what we're trying to change. And this is why, in this age of everything being the best, brightest, grandest, and never seen before, we do think this plane is important. We as a species has been walking since the dawn of time, right? Roughly 2.5 miles an hour. That defined the size of a city center. You go to work. You go to visit your family. You go to the grocery. For many thousands of years, we've domesticated the horse, went 4 times faster, roughly 10 miles an hour. And that defined the Roman road and the distance to the next village. Transportation leaps changed the way we live. Benz and Ford gave us the car roughly 4 times as fast again. 60 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, depending on traffic. They gave us the suburb. They gave us traffic. We believe the next leap is not standing in line for 2 hours, taking your shoes off, putting them back on, and then hopping on a plane that takes you too far away. We believe the next hop in the democratization of transportation is in the form of electrification. This is why we believe that this effort, like many other efforts around the world right now, are actually the telltale signs for a third age of aviation. We've had powered flight, we've had the jet age, and we're going to have the electric age. It's not 20 years away. It's going to happen right here and right now. And we are extremely proud to be part of this here in this venue, 110 years after the first Paris Air Show. We are humbled by this event, and we are humbled by our small position in this revolution that's early enough to allow us this space, and we believe it's a revolution that's coming. I'm very, very grateful for your time, and I would love to take you.